Hello, everybody, and welcome to Positive Fandom. I'm your host, Artem. And of course, we have with us tonight Darth Plato. Darth Plato, how are you? Darth Plato, can you hear
I'm
me?
fine. I'm just trying to fix the sound here. I'm fine. My sound was a little off. I'm here.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Well,
here.
welcome. And welcome to everybody who is watching along. We're going to be doing a live watch party tonight of Emperor 2012 is the year that it was made. The movie is called Emperor. As you can see, it stars Tommy Lee. We can see there. Darth Plato, what made you think about this film as a choice for our historical World War II film series?
Well, you just said it. World War II is. We've been doing a lot of World War II stuff recently, and although World War II is not really my thing, I thought watching some movies in that time period would be maybe a little good for me. And also, I did see this movie about 10 years ago, so I thought it was really compelling, and I don't think it's very widely known. And so, since we're not just doing World War II movies, we're doing movies that aren't really that well known either,
Mm-hmm.
like Narvik and Apathoid,
Poet,
and yeah, and Operation Mincemeat. A lot of people don't know about these movies, and I think that's a shame because they're really good movies. I think this movie, Emperor, deserves to be in that category, even though it's actually post World War II. It's not technically World War II. The war is over.
Okay. And I'm so glad you recommended it, guys. You can find the movie on Prime. Darth Plato and I are going to be starting at the 32-second mark. As you can see, right down there is the counter, the count up clock. So we're at 32 seconds. You should see something on the screen that you actually hear like a little typing, and it says August 6, 1945, might be what you see on your screen if you are at the 32-second mark. So let's go ahead and do this, Darth Plato. Let's go
All right.
ahead and press the start button at 3, 2, 1, go.
Nice little footage there.
And of course, we're looking at I guess it's a bombing. It looks like it was a bombing. And of course, we're very familiar with this moment. Um,
That might be the Enola Gay.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, United States. Oh, okay.
The fruits of the Manhattan Project.
It sounds like Matt Damon. Is
You
it?
mean Aunt Vernon?
So that's very interesting. And I guess I should have surmised by the title of the movie that this had something to do with the emperor, and they're
There
trying
you
to figure
go.
out what they're going to do with the emperor. Um,
with a bamboo forest.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And of course, it's a very touching moment because, of course, we know on this plane, this man has no idea whether his loved one is alive, right? Um,
That could well be, yeah. Yeah, General Fellows, yeah, that was him. Tommy Lee Jones.
so there's a lot of cultural significance here in the sense of the interpretation and even behavior and traditions are different in Japan at this point that have to be overcome if there is going to be any kind of resolution to this.
All right. Yeah, I know people that have served in Japan. I've heard all kinds of stories about how things are different over there.
Mm-hmm.
He's got that cod pipe.
Is there still a lot of pressure on the Americans to handle this situation?
Handle what situation?
Dealing with Japan and the emperor, which is what this film is about, and the future of Japan being responsible for the future of Japan, more or less.
What MacArthur's job is to facilitate the incorporation of Japan into an American-dominated Western Pacific. That's really what he's there to do. Then I don't think they're overly concerned about what the Japanese are going to do, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
And notice here how they're turning their backs.
Yeah, things we're going to see a lot of things like this. There are going to be very specific behaviors and actions that are going to be noticeable, and of course have may or may not have the same and even more profound meaning to the Japanese.
Right. So in Japan, they're turning their backs as a way of showing respect, but in other parts of the world, turning your back to someone is a grave insult.
Mhm.
So, like say in Ottoman Turkish society, turning your back to a sultan was punishable by death. But in this society, turning your back is the appropriate behavior.
Mhm. And it's things
Yeah, it's
like
really
that,
wild.
understanding those very specific meanings that can have a huge effect over how this goes.
Oh,
I'm glad they showed that.
yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. So this is very early in the American occupation. So FDR had a very clear idea about what the post-war world would look like. He had this idea of what was called the Four Policemen. So the United States, Great Britain, the Soviet Union, and China would be the policemen of the world. So they would be the only countries in the world that had arms, and every other country in the world would be disarmed. That included France, by the way, and Japan. So the disarmament of Japan and the constitution that was imposed on Japan really reflects that policy, and it's really kind of anachronistic.
And I
Uh,
want to say hi to Molly Lanny. Hello, Molly. Hope you are well. And also hello to Anonymous. Hi, Anonymous. Good to see you, and thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, welcome everybody.
Now, Darth Plato, many of these soldiers have never even been to Japan. I'm sure some of them have, but many of them have not. What do you think the transition of being there was like for them?
Oh, I couldn't possibly say. I've heard stories. I know that one Marine told a story that when he first went to Japan, he didn't know what to expect, and someone approached him on the street, and he sort of flinched because he didn't know what to. Like I said, he didn't know what to expect, and the guy shook his hand. And he said, "You know, you did a good thing because the Tokyo government was really they were bad actors.
Hmm.
So it depends on who you talk to,
Right.
Takahashi." So I think most of these characters are fictional, like that the Japanese guy. I don't know if he's real or not, but Fellows is definitely a real person. He kind of got fired from his previous job, though.
Oh. Oh, he's looking for that woman, right?
Yeah,
This
yeah,
character.
yeah. However, this aspect of the story is fictional, but it's a movie, so let them have their movie. But this was a real guy, and he really did make this investigation.
Now, is this the palace, Darth Plato?
No, they're gonna go visit Tojo.
Okay.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't like that ritual guy. I think that he's really just a composite character for the just the old-fashioned uncaring bigot.
Right.
That's right. You're exactly right about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know if you ever previously went to Japan. They may just be making that up.
Hmm.
He's right about that last thing he said about the bombing death in Japan. The bombing rage on Tokyo killed more people than Hiroshima and Nagasaki combined.
Hey, and hello to Linwood Kent. How are you? Says, hi, sweet lady. And Darth, late but made it. So good to see you. Hope you are well tonight. It's such a pleasure having you here as always. Also, want to say hi to Tom Jr. Jackson. Hey, Tom, how are you today, guys? Tom had a video today. He reviewed a video. So, guys, please do check out Tom Jr. Jackson's YouTube channel. I did watch it. I don't think I made a comment on it, Tom, but I did watch your video. And guys, please do check out Tom's YouTube channel. Thank you so much for the super chat, Tom. Tom says, "Hey, Artem and Darth Plato, excellent film. Tommy Lee Jones is a great actor. He really is. Um, and what a spectacular film. You are right. Uh, Tom, this is truly an amazing film that they've made here. Um, we're so lucky that we have cinema like this to watch, and it's good to see you guys. We are all goof people, Tom.
Thanks for being here, Tom, and thank you for moderating.
Absolutely. I'll get back to it and make a comment. I realized that I had left it, and I don't believe I left a comment, Tom. So I had to kind of jump on the phone and didn't get a chance. But thank you for everything as always. And I love romance, guys. Darth Plato, you know this is one of my favorite parts. Any kind of romance in a film, I love it. So,
Yeah, the movie does a good job with it. Even it's fictional, but yeah,
and guys,
it's also art.
it is, isn't it? The art of lovemaking and the art of romance on the screen. I absolutely love it. Tom Jr. Jackson's channel here. The link is in the chat, guys. Please do check out Tom Jr. Jackson's YouTube channel.
And like I said, I'm not so sure that Feller had ever previously visited Japan. In one of his previous jobs, he was the American attaché to the British in Egypt, where he was sending reports to DC on what the British were doing, and these reports were intercepted by the Germans and was forwarded to Rommel during his campaigns in North Africa. And that went on for about 6 months before the British found out what they were doing, and Fellers had to be sent away.
Interesting.
I don't think they mentioned that in the movie though. So he went from OSS to being assigned to General MacArthur's staff in the Pacific.
True.
Yeah, I don't know how many people spoke English in Japan at that time, but it's more than you would think, because that country was really fascinated by Western stuff and their fashions, even the language. Yeah, at one point there was a consideration to ban the Japanese language altogether and just adopt English to make them as Western as possible. That didn't happen, obviously, but the fact that was even considered is really telling.
That's a good point.
Which is actually what happened. What really happened was that Fellows allowed a lot of these condemned that were going to go to the tribunal, and they were going to hang. They knew they were going to hang, but still, they wanted to preserve the dignity and the honor of the emperor. So he allowed them to meet each other in prison and coordinate their stories together in prison when he made his report. They don't show that in the movie, but that is what happened. Yeah, that's Tojo there. It's the guy who authorized the attack on Pearl Harbor.
What a position to be put in.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think he minds, honestly. He fears the alternative even more.
You guys don't forget to join me and Lorena Creel for our ladies of the PGS at 6 p.m. Eastern on the Burnett Network. Please do check us out for season 2. And hello, Anonymous again, saying hello to everybody. Good to see you. Yeah, it is on YouTube, Anonymous. Please do check out his channel. It was a video that should have gone up today. And hello, Bonzo Kilborn says, sorry I'm late, was listening to show tunes. Hey, Bonzo, let us know what show tunes you were listening to. I love show tunes. I was just listening to Hey Big Spender from Sweet Charity just today. Hope you are well, Bonzo.
I love Japanese gardens.
They are beautiful. Yeah, it really isn't, is it?
It never is. History is complicated.
Yeah. All right, almost like being in love. I like that. I could have danced all night and on the street where you live. Of course, that's from My Fair Lady. It's almost like being in love. I can't remember if that is also from My Fair Lady, but I love them all. Bonzo Kilborn. Excellent, excellent taste you have.
No, that's not good. He's trying to make equivocation. Yeah, that's unfortunate that he said that.
Oh, I didn't realize that was from Brigadoon. No, I'm gonna have to rewatch Brigadoon again. I didn't realize that was from Brigadoon. I'll have to rewatch it. And but I do know the song. Of course, it's one of the Americans' standards. And thank you, Bonzo, for sharing that and letting me know that it's from Brigadoon. Yeah, Tom, I'm enjoying it. I love My Fair Lady. It's a great musical adaptation that they made. Um, just so wonderful. A great musical indeed. Yeah, I love the tone and the feel of this film, Darth Plato.
Yeah, that's why I recommended it.
See, I don't know the significance here. Obviously, I know this is traditional, but I there is some significance to every bit of this. Cultural significance.
The Reverie. Hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was looking very sensitive, especially saying it to a Japanese man.
Yeah, the direction in this movie is spectacular. Thank you, Tommy Lee, for always doing a stellar performance.
Yeah, I think the Sandman Throne. Yeah, that's what they called it.
It seems very much like choose your own adventure almost. No direct line, no, you know, you can go to this person and then maybe side over to the other one and then go up or down or, very interesting indeed.
Yeah, it's a bit artificial though because they have the artificial deadline of 10. Oh, you have to do this in 10 days. That's just something they put in the movie, honestly.
Right. Just to give us perspective, I guess, at least to be able to wrap our head around something that is incredibly complicated.
Yeah, they're fictionalizing a historical event, and I think they're doing a good job of it.
Hmm. Now, they didn't have to include scenes like this, but they chose to do that. And I thought that that alone is quite ambitious.
And I'm also curious why they keep bringing him back to this bar. Notice how they all stand up. That's how they used to do that in school.
Yes. Yes.
The English classes were not uncommon in Japan.
Now she has to go out there, and everybody's watching. See you later, Anonymous. You enjoy the rest of your night. That's a dig.
Mm. This guy again.
and I will be right back.
What an idiot. Well, MacArthur was prepping for a presidential run. That's true. And nothing came of it, though. And to be fair, Eisenhower was doing the same thing. We know what happened now. That's 6 hours round trip. And it's already nighttime. Yeah, they did a good job in incorporating the reverie scenes.
Well, I can see that this romance is a huge part of the story.
Yeah, part of the art of movie making. Yeah, they did do a good job with it. But to be fair, it is fictional.
she's going to have to touch him.
Well, they were already together in the United States, so they're just resuming that. You have to read about that. I'm not sure what the circumstances were why MacArthur's campaign never really kicked off.
And hello to JH Edits. Welcome to Positive Fandom. Good to see you. We are about halfway or almost halfway through the film Emperor 2012. I hope you are well, JH Edits. Thank you for joining us. And you can see the counter of where we are in the film right below here.
Welcome, J Edits. If she says the don't make eye contact, that's rather odd because in Japanese society they generally avoid eye contact anyway.
Uh-uh. Even I know it's not going to be fine, and I don't even know what it is, but I don't think it's going to be fine.
Yeah, that's a nice old village there. Nice little place out in the way.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's pretty ubiquitous. The shoes.
Yeah, but he's not wearing a uniform. Is he not in the military anymore? When he met her, maybe he wasn't in the military.
Hmm?
Oh, I was saying he's not in a uniform. Maybe he's not in the military at this point, or maybe he is. But
Well, if he wasn't, he wouldn't be a general by 1945. I think this is a fictional character. I don't know who this is.
hmm.
Liberalism. That's pretty self-serving.
Hey, Mark Spector's avatar. So just wanted to pop in and say hi to Well, hello, Mark Spector's avatar. So nice to see you tonight. Hope you are well.
Welcome, Mark. Yeah, most of his books would have been in German, honestly.
It was the standard language for peer reviewed journals and stuff too. But what I find interesting is that they're trying to establish how the emperor is perceived by the average Japanese soldier at halfway through the film.
Yeah,
It's very, very interesting.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, but when Japan was emerging as a modern nation, the institution of the army sent people all over the world to learn Western ways of war. And originally, they settled on the French system to model the army. But after the debacle of the War of 1870, they changed their emphasis to modeling on the German army. and the Navy model, the English model. So that's why I said that if the general has if a career army officer have books about the army from other countries, they're probably going to be in German. That's why I said that. Whereas a naval officer would probably have a lot of books in English, like say Mahan. Mahan was required reading in the Japanese military, in the Navy. I mean,
Yeah, he's great in this film, J.H. Edits. He's just spectacular. And I love Tommy Lee playing roles like this as well.
agreed. Yeah, he's wonderful.
And hello, Blazing Asian. How are you tonight? Says hello, and Darth Plato. Well, hello to you, Blazing Asian.
Jeez. This is a good tension. I don't know if that moment ever happened, but that's good. That's good tension.
It is good tension, and I think that certainly most people watching this film, or perhaps some people watching this film, are wondering why that didn't occur. They think that it's as simple enough to say, "We order you to do this, and that's what's going to happen." When we know there is nothing that simple.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if their first visit to the palace ground actually occurred under these circumstances, but that would have been something if it really did.
It really would have been.
Oh, that's Kyoto. Yeah, I can recognize the architecture. Like, I mean, business.
He does. That is not an exact translation.
I love the Japanese actor. He's just a no nonsense approach.
He's like, "What? You could speak Japanese all along? You didn't say anything?" No.
That's funny.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
No, the fact that he's going in there by himself though is a good display. It would have looked bad if they tried to go in there with like 20 guys.
Agreed.
How you doing, Blazing Asian?
Okay. We are glad you are doing well, Blaze Nation.
Could you repeat that?
Mm,
That sounds passive aggressive.
it does.
No. What a great response. Get to that bar again.
He's working his ass off to get this thing done, and he's not getting anywhere. At least it doesn't feel like he's getting anywhere, does it? Oh.
All right. It's your turn.
Yeah. He might not have a family to go home to.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that too when I first saw the movie and saw that line. This is before the war. Before the yeah, he was what was he doing before the war? I don't know.
I don't know. I think they said 1940, right?
He worked in OSS and went to Egypt. After that, he was assigned to General MacArthur's staff in the Philippines. Or then he went to the Philippines after that. I mean, so I'm not sure, but he definitely was a career officer. Otherwise, he wouldn't have been a one-star general in 1945. No, but it mirrored the West in many ways. Notice how he phrased that. He says that he can't find anything to exonerate the emperor. But in the Western world, you don't look for evidence to exonerate somebody. You try to convict them based on evidence. You're not trying to disprove.
Yes, the
You
burden
choose
of
not to
proof.
dis-
The
So
burden of proof.
he's actually approaching this almost like like the French style, like the Code Napoleon, which is the other way around.
You're guilty until proven innocent.
That's right. Which is kind of weird. All right, so there's the keto guy.
Is he guilty right now? And perception wise,
Yeah,
does the world think the emperor is guilty right now?
that's a good way of putting it. Yes.
Oh my goodness, this is quite a moment. Guys, Tom put up a new video today. So make sure you check it out on his YouTube channel, guys. And guys, here's Tom's YouTube channel in the chat. Make sure you check out his new video.
Yeah, he just did a slur right there. Hey, he's trying to rat on somebody.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not so sure it was a deadline.
Gosh, the pressure.
Yeah, what he's saying here is true.
Yeah.
That he made a recording, and that would be broadcast to the people.
This is that famous recording.
That's right. It wasn't live.
Can you imagine how they felt when they heard that?
So now thousands of soldiers went to the palace to get the recording before it could be broadcast. Now that really happened.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
No, they would not have.
Yeah, very brutal. JH edits. Ooh.
Yeah, that's not quite what happened, but
But for dramatization purposes, this looks really good.
Yeah, that's right. Some of the officers after the fact shot themselves. That's true.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Now, what happened was that the emperor was in his privy apartment, and the soldiers were in the next room. They could tell that he was in there, but they wouldn't go in there because they didn't have the nerve to go into his presence. So he had it on his person. Beyond that, I don't know. Maybe he did go into a safe room beyond there, but they couldn't go. They wouldn't go into the apartment.
He has lived a hermetic life and cannot be compared to men whose rise to power was driven by ambition.
That's true. It's very yeah. That's absolutely right.
Yet he had the courage to stand up to the militarists.
Well, he knew from the Potsdam Declaration that the Allies would accept nothing less than unconditional surrender.
And end the war. Yeah, you're right, Darth Leto.
So there couldn't be a half measure. So he knew that it had to be an unconditional surrender, and he had to leave himself completely at the mercy of the Allies. And the Allies, for their part, did not remove him. Because they wouldn't have dared.
And hello again, Linwood Kent says, visited Philippines in 1963. Wow. The World War the World War II American Cemetery was heartbreaking. I can imagine. Linwood Kent, thank you so much for bringing that to our attention. And I can truly understand it must have been such an incredibly powerful moment for you. We have just about maybe 25 or 26 minutes left in the film. Darth Plato, this has been a spectacular film. Well, that can't be interpreted any other way.
Hmm. I'm not sure they were rounding up Americans up at that point. But the whole point of the attack was to be a secret attack.
And
Mm.
guys who are, I'm sorry, go ahead, Darth Plato.
I was just saying that I'm going to look that up. I'm curious if the authorities really were rounding up Americans in the run up to Pearl Harbor. I have to look that up.
Oh, this is so sad. Yes. Oh, thank you, JH Edits. Says, you guys always watch the best films, excellent selections. Well, thank you, JH Edits. We have a lot to thank Darth Plato for it, um, who has been so wonderful in picking so many of these films. Sometimes I pick a film, but it's fun to watch excellent movies, excellent cinema, and also look at it from a cinematography point of view of how interesting and what approach they decide to take from this film. What a beautifully made film, JH Edits and everybody in here. Let us know what you thought of the film. We're just coming up on the end of the film. I think it's just lovely what they did with this, and not at all what I was expecting. Look at the picture of what we're seeing. Would you expect a film like this from this picture? I don't know if you would or not, but certainly I think it's really a beautiful depiction of what you could possibly show as the feeling and sentiment at the time in Japan of many of the players, although some are fictitious, during this time period. Certainly, I think it was done with a great amount of care. What do you think, Darth Leto?
Yeah, I think it's a very underrated movie. I wish that's why I've been recommending these movies because I think they're underrated. They're good movies and people need to know about them. He's mentioned that he was at Iwo Jima. That must have been quite a thing to see.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to get to that. And thank you, JH Edits, for your kind words. It is so nice of you to say that. Um, as I said, Darth Plato and I really do take a lot of effort and care in curating the next film. And I'm curious, Darth Plato, as to what you think is going to be the next film. Um, so let me know in the private chat, Darth Plato, if a film that you've chosen. Um, and Tom Jr. Jackson says, it is an excellent film. Certainly is. We certainly are getting a lot of enrichment from watching these spectacular films. Now, Darth Plato, you and I want to do a show, and you have to pick a date for me where we talk about the revival of the historical film genre coming up. That's going to be a nice show where we're going to be talking about it. So that's going to be fun. It's going to be on here and the Burn Network, so I'm going to put it on both channels at the same time. But I'm looking forward to that. Certainly something that you and I have been talking about for quite some time, and an interest of ours, and I'm sure of many people in the channels in the community. So, yeah, I'm excited.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
I also misspoke. He said he was at Okinawa, not Iwo Jima.
Okay. Oh no, she didn't make it. Oh, thank you so much, JH Edits. Thank you for saying that, and I appreciate you as well. Thank you for the kind words. Man, she didn't make it. Why? Oh man.
Separated by war. That's a story as old as the Greeks, as old as the Bible.
And so beautifully told. Are those his letters? I know that he had said that he wrote her. Maybe she wrote to him all this time. Um,
Yeah, it's a powerful scene.
What a beautiful performance.
Yeah, that would have been quite a campaign. The alternative was an invasion of the home islands, and that would have been ugly.
Absolutely.
That's Tokyo Bay, I believe. I don't believe any promise took place.
Whoa. What?
Yeah, sure, they are across the international date line.
Yeah, that is very true.
Yeah, so they're meeting at a neutral site. So yeah, that's true. They did meet. and they met at a neutral site to avoid the appearance that one was going to the other. I'm not surprised he would say that.
And J&H Edit says, I'm guessing the Emperor's New Clothes scenario isn't going to play out here then. No.
Nice car.
Yes.
I love old cars like that.
They know it's him in the car. This is remarkable, Darth Plato. That's remarkable.
Well, generally speaking, the one with the highest authority is always the host. You know, it's like you go see the president doesn't come to you. You go to the king doesn't go to you. So here you have MacArthur and you have the emperor. So who goes to who? Hiruhito's not going to go visit MacArthur because it looks like he's reporting in. And MacArthur doesn't want to go to Hirohito for the same reason. That's why they're meeting at the neutral site. So to avoid all those appearances, it's actually pretty brilliant.
Appearances are everything.
General Richard. Yeah, I love that expression. And they said the emperor won't eat anything or drink anything. I think that's for obvious reasons.
He probably shouldn't, you know. Whew. My heart is pounding.
You can get out of my way now.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness gracious. What a beauty. They did this so well. Darth Plato.
And there's a photograph of their meeting. So this meeting did take place. Yeah, Hirohito was a pretty young guy. And then I think he died like in '89. I think. Yeah, I remember in the '80s he visited San Francisco. It was all over the newspapers. He was a pretty old guy then, though. Didn't he just say you can't touch him?
Now, Darth Plato, is this a famous picture?
There was a photograph. I've seen it.
I thought he would have been allowed to stay in there.
I don't know.
Are you shocked?
Honestly, yeah, but I can understand it. Is he gonna sing a poem?
Oh, my goodness gracious. Oh my goodness gracious. Yeah, this was excellent, Darth Plato.
Yeah, this is the scene from the beginning of the movie, then the bamboo forest.
Just lovely storytelling. And, I think this is what people are asking for.
Yeah,
In regards to accuracy, I do realize it's not going to be perfect. But when you have a film that's done with this level of care and respect, I just think it's spectacular what you can achieve cinematically with something like this.
I think a good job it done here.
Hi, the Basco scenario. How are you? Says Ola. Well, Ola to you. We're just finishing up a spectacular film called Emperor, made in 2012, starring Tommy Lee Jones. What an amazing film, Darth Plato. I'm speechless at how good this is. Um, really, just spectacular. I'm assuming there's going to be a little bit
And by
more that.
19,
I'm sorry.
yeah, this is 1945. By this is 1945. By 1960, they're one of the leading industrial powers in the world. So they
Yeah, and I'm
recovered
glad
very.
you mentioned that. And excuse me, I'm sorry, Darth Plato. It says sentenced to death by the International War Crimes Tribunal. He was hanged. I didn't know
Hmm.
that happened.
Yeah, yeah. There was a tribunal in Japan.
Suspected of war crimes. I can't read it. Fenora took poison and died in 1945. Kaiichi Kido was charged as a Class A war criminal. Um, is it say escaping death by one vote? He was sentenced to life in prison. I think that's what it says. Tabora Sakura, it's just the print, I can't read it, was never charged with any crime. He lived peacefully into an old age. Okay. General Bonner Feller was awarded the Second Order of the Sacred Treasure for his contributions to the Japanese American, and was demoted to the rank of colonel by General so and so, became an active in politics after leaving the army. It probably says promoted. Hi, Heath's Geekverse. How are you? General Douglas MacArthur successfully overran the rebuilding of Japan. I can't read the rest, but in 1951, he was relieved of his command by President Truman and retired. Is that the famous comment that he makes? Old soldiers don't just something, they fade away.
Yeah, that's
Emperor Hirohito renounced his status
yeah.
as a god and reigned confirmed until his death in 1989.
Yep.
One of the oldest, actually the oldest royal family in the world. Of
Yeah,
course, there's a picture. Thank you, Darth Plato.
Yeah, there's the photo. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember when he died. It was in all the newspapers.
I do remember that, and of course, I had learned a little bit about the royal family because they are the oldest line out there. And what a spectacular film, Darth Plato. Heath, hope you are well. Heath, we just finished watching Emperor 2012 in our historical film series, which is going to go on into perpetuity because we're not ever going to stop watching historical films. And also, of course, check out Heath's Geekverse channel. He also has a few other channels as well, but do check it out, and you can become a member of his channel. Such a great channel. He talks about the geekdom and so much more. A pleasure to see you, Heath. And Linwood Kent says, "Old soldiers." Yes, that's the saying. Thank you, Darth Plato and Linwood Kent. I remember that because this is what he had famously said at that point when he was removed from duty, if you will. Old soldiers don't die; they just fade away. Certainly, quite a profound comment of his, and a comment that he's known for saying, if I remember correctly. And certainly, it is very interesting in the manner that they chose to tell you the series of events. You said in 1960, Darth Plato, by the 1960s, Japan was now one of the back on its feet in less than, what is that, 20 years?
Less than 20 years, yeah.
Unbelievable in that regard. This was a spectacular film, guys. I don't know how many of you are checking this out on the rerun, but I really love this one. I think it's done beautifully. I think the cinematography was wonderful. I think the romance in the film was especially poignant and touching. You guys know I love romance. Darth Plato, what are your final words on the film?
Well, there's a number of things I wanted to say. The first thing I should say is obviously there is some historical inaccuracies there. That's true. It's a wonderful movie. I don't want to begrudge it in any way. But the fact of the matter is that Tommy Lee Jones, MacArthur, had decided ahead of time what he was going to do concerning Hirohito. He wanted Hirohito part of the rebuilding effort of the country. So this stuff about the investigation, there was an investigation, but the outcome had been determined in advance, and that's what Feller's job was to get to the conclusion that Hirohito could be exonerated, so to speak. It wasn't really an honest negotiation, and MacArthur just said, "This is the outcome. Get me there." That's why he went to the prisons and talked to the war criminals and had them all corroborate their stories about what they needed to say about Hirohito. So that's really how that went down. But still, it's still a good movie.
It certainly is. And of course, we're not ever going to get a film that's going to provide us with exact historical accuracies. We already know this. It's almost impossible to necessarily depict every historical event, to a T. So there is that. But I think in regards to the sentiment of what the film is trying to portray, trying to understand the fundamentals of another culture, and especially a culture that's ancient and deep-rooted, is by far not an easy task. And certainly we got that impression from seeing this. And I think it was handled very gingerly. They could have gone a number of different ways in doing this, but it certainly seemed to be somewhat more of a diplomatic manner that all of this was handled. And of course, a love story, which they didn't have to put in there, but you know, I love my love stories.
Yeah, I would recommend Shogun for the exact same reasons. It
Well,
has all of that.
it has everything. It certainly does have everything. And I also like how they captured certainly the aura and the respect that the emperor uh, gave and still does as a figure that certainly is
As well they should, because he was singularly responsible for the end of the war on that front. If he had not did what he did, there would have been an invasion.
absolutely Darth Plato. And certainly, I think it is very interesting to look at that and to see. And I knew I had seen that picture somewhere. I was like, isn't that a famous picture? Linwood Kent is telling us that in Japan in 1961, it was a bustling place. Linwood Kent was there. And certainly Tokyo, which is the largest city in the world now, right, everybody? I think it's 30 million people or something like that. Certainly thriving now. Um, and I really do think that the performances in the film were incredible as well.
Yeah, I
So
love
we
the
did.
movie.
What do you think, Darth Plato? What did you think about? Obviously, Tommy Lee was incredible. What do you think about the other actors as well?
I loved everything about this movie as far as the movie making goes. You made comments about the editing. I can't speak to that. I don't know. I don't really know the craft of movie making. All I know is that it's a very compelling movie. When I saw it, I haven't forgotten this movie. And when you asked me for a movie recommendation, this it wasn't the first thing that came to my mind, but it certainly was one of the handful the movie that came to my mind.
It certainly is. I want to thank Tom Jr. Jackson for being here as always, a moderator, collaborator, and good friend. And guys, Tom Jr. Jackson has his own YouTube channel. He released a video today on Gotcha, so please do check that out. Darth Plato, where can people find you?
You can find me right here on the It Show on the Positive Friend.
And guys, of course, you can find me here on Positive Fandom in the Burr Network. Thank you, everybody who stopped by today. So appreciate you all. We're going to continue the series, as I said, into perpetuity. We're not going anywhere. I mean, like sometimes we might skip a week, but certainly this is something that we're continually committed to, acknowledging all of those incredible films that are not getting the attention as they should, as Darth Plato said. J&H Edit says, it was a beautiful score, too. It certainly was a beautiful score. JH Edits, I have to agree 100% with that comment as well. And Tom Jr. Jackson says, it was my pleasure. Thank you so much, Tom. Guys, on behalf of pretty much Positive Fandom, thanks again to everybody who is here tonight. Please join us next week. We will have another film, another historical film coming up, which, is going to be just as wonderful, hopefully. And really enjoyed tonight's film. If you didn't get a chance to watch along with us, please do check out the film when you can, guys. And so, with that being said, thank you, everybody. And guys, remember, no matter where you are in the galaxy, always remember to please be kind. Live long and prosper, everybody. Bye.